Have you ever thought about how unusual it is to keep doing certain things after 65? Lots of folks believe getting older means moving slower, losing skills, or not being as able as before. But here's the real story. If you can still do the 8 things we're going to talk about, you're part of a tiny and amazing bunch. In this chat, we're jumping into 8 clues that prove you're growing old in a fantastic way, from body power to brain quickness. Stuff that shows a bigger truth about how long you'll live, how tough you are, and how healthy you stay overall. Stay with us till the finish, because you'll not only spot these rare signs in yourself, but you'll also figure out why they're so important for living a longer, healthier, and happier life. Before we kick off, I'd be grateful if you give this a thumbs up. It helps me keep sharing lessons about aging. If you haven't joined my updates yet, I suggest you hit subscribe and tap the bell so you catch every video. If you enjoy this, please drop a number 1 in the comments. If it's not your thing, leave a number 0 so I know how to improve next time. All right, let's dive in. First, you've got solid hand strength. One of the most overlooked but super telling signs of a long, healthy life is how strong your grip is. It's not just about squeezing someone's hand hard when you say hello or popping open a tricky pickle jar with ease. Grip strength is like a peek into how fit your whole body is, showing way more than just what your hands can do. If you can still lug a heavy shopping bag swinging from your fingers, carry a pile of logs, or hold a steering wheel without getting tired, you're doing better than you might think. This isn't just handy or a cool trick. It's a real measure of how tough your body is, linked to muscle size, nerve health, and even heart stamina. Studies prove it too. Tons of research says older folks with a firm grip tend to live longer than others, bounce back faster from sickness or bumps, and stay on their own well into later years. Why is that a big deal? Grip strength sums up a lot. It's not only your hands working, it's your arms, shoulders, and the web of nerves sparking from your brain to your fingers. It's also a clue about how well your heart pumps blood to those muscles. When grip strength drops, it's often an early hint of bigger trouble. Imagine this: if you can't keep a coffee cup steady or twist open a bottle without a fight, daily tasks turn into little annoyances. Worse, a weaker grip might mean your muscles are shrinking, a problem called sarcopenia. That leaves you open to trips, breaks, and exhaustion. But if your hands still clamp down strong, it's a signal your body's standing up to time. You've got staying power, balance, and a solid base that's still running strong. Think of Frank, a 75-year-old guy who won't let age hold him back. He spends weekends in his garden, lifting bags of dirt, trimming trees, and swinging a shovel like it's part of him. His handshake could still make a younger guy flinch, and his doctor once said Frank's grip matches men 20 years younger. That's not just a neat story for Frank to share over tea, it's real proof his whole muscle and bone setup is beating the odds. Strong hands mean he can balance on a ladder, haul his tools without blinking, and keep enjoying what he loves. Plus, grip strength keeps you safe. It's tied straight to moving around and staying steady. 2 huge things for aging well. If you can grab a rail tight or catch yourself when you trip, you're less likely to land in a hospital bed. So if your grip's still mighty, see it as a bright sign your body's aging with awesome power and grace. Next, you can stand up from the floor without help. Here's an easy check that says a lot about what's ahead. Can you sit on the ground and get back up without holding a chair, pushing with your hands, or needing a pull from someone? If you can, you've got a rare and strong mix of body skills that lots of people your age don't have anymore. Bendiness, steadiness, teamwork in your muscles, and a tough middle. This isn't just about showing you can still move like a youngster. It's a deep clue about how well you'll keep doing things on your own and staying lively as years pass. Picture the everyday side of this. Maybe you kneel to grab a pen that rolled under the sofa, sit with legs crossed to play a game with your grandkids, or bend down to tie your laces without thinking twice. For you, this might feel normal, but for plenty of older folks, getting up from there is tough, needing a table to lean on, a groan of effort, or just giving up. If you're still rising easy, you're in a special crowd, and that's worth cheering about. Look at Margaret, a lively 72-year-old who kicks off her day with soft yoga in her living room. She moves from sitting with legs crossed to standing tall without a shake or pause. Her doctor tested her once and was shocked. Most women her age need a rail, a wall, or at least their hands to push up. Margaret's skill isn't just about her effort, it shows a body that's still clicking. This trick depends on more than strong legs. It's about loose hips, steady ankles, power in your belly, and the timing to pull it all together. Studies back this up. Research shows older people who can't get off the floor without help face twice the chance of moving trouble, falls, and even passing sooner. Why? Because this move tests your whole body. If you can do it, your joints are still flexible, your muscles are awake, and your nerves are sharp enough to keep you stable. It goes beyond just strength, too. Getting up alone means you're less scared of falling to start with. A fear that keeps too many older folks sitting still, speeding up their fade. It means your knees and hips still work smooth, cutting down on wear that leads to aches or stiffness. It means you can live how you want, gardening, chasing a dog, or relaxing on the floor with a book. For Margaret, it's the freedom to stretch each morning without worrying about standing. For you, it might be knowing you can kneel to fix something low and not get stuck. If you can still do this without trouble, it's a big cheer for your body's toughness. A sign you're not just getting older, but doing it really well. If you're still here and liking these bits, please drop a number 1 in the comments to let me know you're with me. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I'd suggest hitting that button and the bell so you don't miss out. Your support keeps us making stuff to help and spark you. Now let's keep going. Third, you can hold good posture without a fight. How you stand says tons about how your body's aging. If you can stand straight with shoulders back, walk without bending forward, and sit without slumping, you're ahead of most folks your age. Over time, bad posture brings a weak middle, backaches, and even breathing trouble. But if you still keep yourself lined up right, it means your spine, muscles, and joints are doing their job well. A rare thing for older people. You might not think about it much, but posture is more than how you look. It ties straight to moving, staying balanced, and even how your insides work. When your spine's set right, your lungs open wide, letting in more air and boosting your energy. But if you're always slouched, your body's pushing harder to keep up, leaving you tired and sore. Take George, a 74-year-old ex-teacher. He still walks with pride, back straight, head up. People guess he's younger just because of how he carries himself. His doctor once said most guys his age deal with squashed spines or leaning forward, but George is holding strong. It's because he stays active, works his middle, and skips habits that hunch you over. One big reason posture counts is it helps you balance and avoid falls. Bad posture throws your weight forward, making you wobbly. Standing tall spreads your weight even, easing joint strain and keeping you steady. If you can still hold up straight without pain or nagging yourself, take it as proof your body's aging with power and toughness. Fourth, you can rise from a chair without your hands. At first, standing from a seat without grabbing your hands might seem small, almost no big deal. But this easy move is a deep sign of your body's strength, how well you move, and staying on your own. For lots of people, especially over 65, this skill fades as leg power, joint bendiness, and balance slip away. If you can still get up smooth and sure from a soft chair, a kitchen seat, or your car without pushing off or gripping the sides, it's a clear hint your body's still in great shape. Your legs, middle muscles, and sense of steadiness are all teaming up. You have a knack for keeping up a level of physical strength that lots of folks your age can only wish for. Think about how often you do this movement every day, whether it's standing up after a long Netflix marathon on the sofa, getting up after eating at the kitchen table, or climbing out of a low car. These shifts happen plenty of times daily, and each one calls for a mix of thigh muscle power, glute strength, core steadiness, and smooth teamwork in your body to keep you balanced. When this skill starts to slip, it's usually one of the first signs pointing to shrinking muscles, stiff joints, or even a drop in how well your nerves work. For people who find it hard, they might rock back and forth to get going, lean hard on their arms, or even steer clear of low seats because they're scared they won't stand up again. But if you can still pull off this move with smoothness and ease, you're showing off a special kind of physical ability that makes you stand out. Take Linda, for instance, a lively 72-year-old grandma to 5 kids. She never really thought about how she could stand up easily until she went to a friend's birthday bash and saw how many of her pals had a tough time getting out of their chairs. Some grabbed the armrests tight, others took a hand from their partner, and a few just sat longer than they wanted, not wanting anyone to notice their struggle. Later that month, at a fun family get-together, her 10-year-old grandson jokingly dared her to stand up from the floor without her hands. A trickier challenge than just rising from a seat. To her joy and everyone's shock, Linda sprang up without a hitch. Thanks to her years of steady walks, light stretching, and a bit of strength work paying off in a way she hadn't realized until right then. That little win wasn't just a fun moment, it was proof of her lasting physical health. Why does this simple skill matter so much? Studies show it's a big deal. Research says older people who can get up from a seat without help often live longer and stay on their own for more years. This skill shows you've got enough leg and core strength, good bend in your hips and knees, and a sharp sense of balance to not tip over. These things are key to dodging falls, which are a top reason for injuries and losing freedom as you get older. If you can still do this without thinking twice, take a second to see what your body's pulling off. It's not just about standing up, it's about holding onto a level of fitness that gets rarer with age, a quiet sign of toughness that many only miss once it's gone. If you're still reading this and liking these tips, please write number 2 below to let me know. You're here, and if you haven't joined yet, I suggest you hit subscribe and tap the bell so you catch all our updates. Your cheers help us keep making solid stuff to share and lift you up. Now, let's keep going. Next up, number 5, you can stand on one leg for over 10 seconds. Balance is one of those quiet champs of physical health, something most people don't think about until it starts to wobble. If you can lift one foot off the ground and stay steady for more than 10 seconds without swaying, waving your arms, or grabbing a wall, you're showing a mix of fitness and brain-body teamwork that beats out many folks your age. This isn't just a fun game, it's a strong clue about how well your body and mind sync up. Weak balance is a known danger for older adults, tied closely to more falls, broken bones, and even a shorter life. So, if you can nail this test, you're in a top group with a body that's fighting strong against aging. Want to see how you do? Stop for a bit and give it a try. Stand tall, pick a spot on the wall to look at, and lift one foot a few inches up. Count slow. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, up to 10. If you hit it without shaking or putting your foot down, awesome. Your leg strength, core steadiness, and nerves are working great together. But if you're wobbling like a toy top in a breeze, dropping your foot after just a couple seconds, or reaching for a chair, it might be a gentle nudge that your balance and power could use some work. Good news, something you can get better at with practice. Look at Frank, a 77-year-old retired woodworker who spent his life lifting heavy stuff and climbing ladders without a care. As he got older, he started spotting small hints of trouble, like feeling shaky on bumpy paths or pausing before stepping off a curb. At a regular doctor check, his doc asked him to stand on one leg for a basic movement test. Frank tried hard but tipped over after just 5 seconds, his pride hurting more than his body. That sparked something in him. Set on getting his steadiness back, he started simple moves at home. Walking heel to toe down his hall, standing on one leg while brushing his teeth. even practicing near a counter at first for safety. In a few months, he could hold a one-leg stand for over 15 seconds, a small but proud step forward. Why does this matter so much? Great balance isn't just about not falling. It's a guard against the biggest threat to staying free as you age: falls. Experts say falls are the top cause of bad injuries for older folks, often starting a chain of problems that cut into your life's joy. Standing on one leg checks more than just muscles. It tests the tight link between your brain, nerves, and joints. When that slips, it's often an early heads up of bigger drops in strength, coordination, or even thinking power. But if you can still do it smooth and easy, you're not just beating gravity, you're beating the odds. So try it if you haven't yet. Lift that foot, count to 10, and see how you do. If you're solid past 10 seconds, you're in a rare crew with standout steadiness. Enjoy it and keep it strong, because this trick could keep you moving and free for years ahead. Number 6, you can get up from the floor without your hands. Dropping down to the floor and standing back up might seem like a normal everyday thing, but it's a deep test of your physical skill, showing a ton about your strength, bendiness, balance, and overall movement. If you can do this slickly, without grunting, straining, or using your hands, arms, or knees to push up, you're in a special bunch who are more likely to live longer and stay free well into old age. This move needs a mix of things: strong leg muscles to lift you, a firm core to hold you steady, loose joints to bend smooth, and sharp teamwork to tie it all up. As people get older, these things often fade, turning an easy task into a fight or even something they can't do without help. But if you can still do it with style, it's a bright sign your body's still in awesome shape. Take Joan, a feisty 72-year-old grandma who kept moving with years of gardening, dancing, and running after her grandkids. One day, playing blocks on the rug with her youngest grandchild, she had a quiet aha moment. When it was time to stand, she got up without a fuss. No hands on the floor, no leaning on a chair, just a clean move like it was nothing. Later, she told her doctor about it at a visit, and he grinned big. He said her ability to rise without help was a strong mark of her health. Her thighs and glutes were solid, her hips and knees were flexible, and her balance was spot on. Studies back this up. Research shows older adults who can't stand from the floor without help face a much higher chance of falls, losing movement, and even dying sooner. Why? Struggling here often points to shrinking muscles, weaker steadiness, and a drop in overall fitness. But those who can still do it easy tend to stay active, avoid injuries, and live on their own well into their 80s, 90s, and beyond. Want to test yourself? Find a clear spot, sit on the floor however you like. Then try standing without your hands, arms, or knees helping. If you jump up with no sweat, congrats. You're in a rare group with top-notch physical power. If it's hard, don't feel down. It's something you can work on. Start with core moves like planks, leg strength with squats, and stretches for your hips and ankles. Over time, you'll feel tougher, quicker, and surer in what your body can do. Easy or not, this test is a peek at your energy and a nudge that it's never too late to keep growing and thriving. If you're still here and liking these bits, write number 3 below to show me you're around. And if you haven't subscribed, hit that button and the bell so you don't miss out. Your support keeps us rolling with good stuff to share and spark you. Now let's move on. Number 7, you can carry groceries without a struggle. You're still able to lift a sack of groceries from the car to your house or up some stairs without getting tired or feeling like you've just finished a long race. You're in better condition than most folks your age, and that's no little thing. This daily chore might seem ordinary, but it's a strong sign of your overall body health. Carrying groceries doesn't just use one set of muscles, it's a mix of hand power, arm stamina, belly strength, and even leg support, all working as a team. Studies agree with this. Research like stuff printed in the Journal of Gerontology shows that hand power, one of the main things for picking up and holding bags, isn't just about your hands. It's one of the best clues about how long you'll live and how tough you stay as you get older. Picture what's going on when you haul a heavy pile of groceries. Your hands squeeze the bags, needing strong wrists and fingers that haven't weakened or gotten stiff with age. Your shoulders and upper back hold the load steady, showing your posture and joints are still good. Your belly tightens to keep you steady, while your legs give you a solid base to walk without tripping. It's not only about muscles. It's proof that your bones are still strong against thinning, your nerves are working smoothly, and your heart and lungs can take the effort without leaving you out of breath. These are things that usually start fading with age, often as early as your 50s or 60s for lots of people. So if you're handling this job easily, well into your later years, it's a sure hint that your body is still running at a really high level. Think of Walter, a 74-year-old former school teacher from Ohio, as an everyday case. Walter never thought much about his strength until a regular grocery trip surprised him. As he packed his car with bags of canned food, fruits, and a jug of milk, he saw something eye-opening. Men in their 40s and 50s nearby were huffing and puffing under the same kind of load, their faces red with strain. One younger shopper, a guy in his 30s, even walked up to Walter with a worried look and offered to lend a hand, thinking the older guy would have trouble. Walter laughed, brushed him off, and said, "Thanks, but I've been lugging groceries since before you were around. No need to quit now." That moment stayed with him. Later, he thought about how his years of staying busy, gardening, walking, and sometimes lifting weights in his garage had quietly kept him stronger than most. He didn't feel old, and his body showed it. Doctors often point to this kind of real-life strength as a big health sign. A weak grip or trouble lifting normal things can be an early warning of larger troubles, like muscle loss from aging, fragile bones, or even nerve problems. These issues sneak up bit by bit, but they can grow into weakness, where even simple tasks turn into huge hurdles. On the other hand, if you're still toting those bags without thinking twice, you're in a special bunch of older folks who've kept their physical freedom. And the perks go past the grocery store that strength helps with carrying laundry, shifting furniture, or even assisting a pal with something. Tasks that keep you active in life instead of stuck on the sidelines. If you've noticed this skill starting to fade, maybe your hands shake under the weight, or your back complains after a trip from the car, it's not too late to fix it. Strength isn't just something you have or don't, it's something you can grow and keep. Easy habits, like squeezing a stress ball to improve your grip, lifting light weights, or even carrying a small load on a daily stroll, can keep your muscles and joints ready to go. The trick is sticking with it. If you're already doing it without trouble, enjoy that victory. It's a sign you're beating the usual aging game and staying in a rare group of older folks who can still tackle life's physical challenges straight on. Another thing, you can get down on the floor and stand back up without any help. Here's a check of your energy that sounds basic but tells a lot. If you can lower yourself to the ground, say to play with a pet or grab something you dropped, and then get back to your feet without holding a chair, a railing, or someone's arm for help, you're doing better than most in a big way. This isn't just a fun trick. It's one of the clearest signs of long-term movement freedom and overall health. For most people over 65, this simple action becomes hard, if not impossible. Why? It takes a tricky mix of physical stuff, leg power to push you up, bendiness in your hips and knees to move, belly strength to keep you steady, and balance to stop you from falling over. If you've still got it, you're in a small crowd, and science says you're set for a longer, healthier life. Take Emma, an 80-year-old grandma from Texas, as a great example. One afternoon, she was stretched out on the living room rug, building a Lego tower with her laughing grandkids. When playtime was done, she put one foot flat on the floor, pressed her hands into the carpet for a tiny boost, and stood up smoothly, dusting off her jeans like it was no big deal. Her daughter, watching from the sofa, was shocked. "Mom," she said, eyes wide, "I know people 20 or 30 years younger who'd need a lift to do that." Emma just shrugged, not knowing that her easy move was proof of her amazing physical shape. She'd always stayed active. Years of gardening, yoga, and running after kids had kept her body flexible and strong, but she didn't realize how special her skill was until then. Medical pros take this seriously. There's even an official test called the sit and stand test, used by doctors and researchers to measure a person's real-life fitness and guess their risk of health problems or passing away. A big study from the European Journal of Preventive Cardiology found that older adults who had a tough time getting up from the floor, or couldn't do it at all, faced a much higher chance of broken bones and long-term health drop. The reason is plain. Getting up and down isn't just about muscles. It's a whole body test that shows the health of your joints, your coordination, and your nerves. If you can still do it without help, you're not just dodging weakness. You're proving your body can still handle life's sudden needs, from avoiding a spill on the floor to bouncing back from a trip. This matters more than you might guess. Falls are a top cause of injury and even death among older folks, and the danger isn't always the fall, it's being able to get up after. Seniors who don't have the strength or balance to recover often end up stuck, at risk for stuff like thirst or sores if help doesn't come fast. But if you can still manage that up and down move with confidence, you've got a kind of superpower. A body that's tough, adjustable, and ready to keep you free. Emma's tale isn't one of a kind among those who've held on to this skill, but it's uncommon in a world where sitting too much and aging strip it away for most. Want to keep this power? Or get it back if it's slipping? It's all about practice and sticking to it. Daily habits like bodyweight squats, lunges, or even sitting down and standing up from a chair over and over can build the muscles and coordination you need. Belly exercises like planks or leg lifts keep your middle strong, while stretching keeps you loose enough to move easily. If getting up is hard now, start small. Use a pillow or a solid chair for support, leaning on it less as you get stronger. The great thing about this skill is that it's use it or lose it. Keep moving and you'll keep it. If you're already doing it naturally, take a second to value how amazing that is. You're not just ahead of most, you're in a select bunch of older folks whose bodies still work like they're decades younger, and that's something to cheer about as we finish up this long chat. Think about these 8 awesome skills that make you stand out as a special gem in aging. I think if you're still able to do these things without effort, you're part of a top group who've kept strength, movement, and mind sharpness way past what most expect at this point in life. Aging doesn't mean losing it all. It's about adjusting, holding on, and doing great in surprising ways. So, what's something you've picked up today? I'd love to know. Tell me one thing you learned and how you'll use it in your life. If you enjoyed this, let me know below, and don't forget to share and keep up with more. Your support keeps me going, and I'll see you next time.